Today, we are going to talk about hedonism. Do you think it is right to regard pleasure as the ultimate goal in life? Or, to put it another way, do you believe that pleasure is something worthy of our pursuit? This question might sound a bit like making an excuse for indulgence, but in the history of philosophy, there has been a very serious and in-depth discussion about it, known as hedonism. Hedonism is a philosophical school of thought that asserts pleasure is the highest good, while pain is the greatest evil. It holds that behind every human action lies a fundamental motivation, the desire to obtain pleasure. However, there are two distinct types of hedonism. The first is sensory hedonism, which advocates seizing every experience that brings pleasure, even if it is fleeting and isolated. A key representative of this view is Aristippus. He believed that pursuing pleasure is not a betrayal of one's purpose in life, but rather that enjoying the pleasures of the present moment is the truest and most important thing. This approach embraces wild celebrations and the pursuit of short-lived, intense pleasures, but it can easily lead to loss of control and a sense of emptiness. The second type is rational hedonism, also known as Epicureanism. This is the most influential and yet most easily misunderstood form of hedonism in the history of philosophy. Epicurus is its main representative. He argued that lasting pleasure comes from peace of mind and freedom from bodily pain. The pleasure he emphasized is not simply about seeking sensory gratification, but rather about pursuing understanding and inner tranquility. His concept of pleasure is particularly modest and measured. Lately, I have been reading a lot of materials on this topic on my phone, and I have been deeply moved. Unfortunately, my phone has been lagging a bit. I have noticed that the second-hand phones from Zhanjiang are very smooth. My iPhone cost me just over 3,000 yuan, which is 2,000 yuan cheaper than a new model. It performs just as well on the inside, and it feels incredibly reliable. Moreover, Zhanjiang is a trustworthy second-hand platform. Every phone has gone through multiple rounds of inspection, with close-up photos of the front and back as well as functional test reports. The Lenovo 9000P from their platform is also very smooth. When it comes to reliable second-hand products, I only recommend Zhanjiang. Epicureanism has a very measured approach to life. Eating enough is sufficient. You don't need lavish meals. A few true friends are enough for life. Status and fame don't matter. In modern terms, Epicureans are those who practice moderation, maintain emotional stability, and live a disciplined yet relaxed life. For example, suppose Xiao Xin has just graduated from college and needs to find a job and rent an apartment. The room she rents is very small, the walls have some mold, yet she happily decorates this little space of her own. Although she dreams of buying an expensive, high-end bedspread, she ends up not doing so. Instead, she finds a relatively affordable but decent set of bedding online. At night, when she lies on her bed for the first time, she feels an immense sense of peace. Neither the sounds of neighbors playing games, the noise from the street, the cheap light bulb indoors, nor the dripping sound of the air conditioner can disturb her in that moment. She posts on social media, "I'm living in a cramped place now, but I can eat well, wash well, and sleep well." This is already happiness. This is a typical example of Epicurean hedonism. She wasn't trapped by the mindset that one must buy the best of everything. Instead, she made a choice that was just right for her. She didn't compete or pin her hopes for a romanticized life on material possessions. Within her limited conditions, she actively chose a way to make herself happy. Today, whenever hedonism is mentioned, people tend to associate it with extravagance, indulgence, and irresponsibility. These prejudices have become the default assumptions. Yet, in contemporary society, what truly exhausts people is not hedonism, but endless competition, anxiety, and self-criticism. We don't need to glorify suffering. Moderate pleasure fuels motivation. A prosperous society grants us the right to be happy. Pleasure is not a sin, exhaustion is what deserves reflection. In an era of information overload and rampant desires, Epicureanism offers a gentle form of resistance, not by indulging desires, but by letting go of unnecessary attachments. It helps us maintain a sense of serenity amid the chaos, learning to recognize when we have enough and to continue finding joy before we crave even more.